Mr. Peldon. This is Math 155, Chapter 3, Section 3, Properties of Logs. There's only three properties of logs, you know: the product, quotient, and power. If you have a product of two things and they're being logged, then you can break them apart using addition. However, they must be the same base. If the base doesn't match, that doesn't apply. Similar to exponent rules, because logs essentially are exponents. And if you're dividing two things with the same base, you can subtract them as two logs, and they can go vice versa too. You can go the other way around. And if you have an exponent in a log, you can bring it down as a multiplier or put it up depending on which way you're going. We're going to go both ways in this because this is the precursor to solving equations. Okay, so in these problems, we want to expand them. And the next page, we're going to condense them. So where these are being multiplied with the same base, so therefore we can add them. So it's log of 10 plus log of x. But since there is no specified base, it's common log, which is base 10. Therefore, that's the first power. So those will cancel, leaving me with 1 plus log of x. That is fully expanded and simplified. All right, next one is natural log, which is log base e. Thus, we have a division here, so that means subtraction. So the natural log of e to the third. Oops, why did I write equals? I'm sorry, it should be minus, not equals. Minus the natural log of 7. But natural log is log base e, so those cancel. So I'm left with 3 minus the natural log of 7. Okay, the next one, we have a square root of x, but that is really log base 3 of x to the 1/2 power. So I can use the power rule. So 1/2 times the log base 3 of x. It's not very good, base 3. Okay. Next one, we have a bunch of things going on here. First off, we have a product right here. So we'll break that apart. So log base b of x squared plus log base b of the square root of y using the product rule. So now we're using the power rule. So this becomes 2 times the log base b of x plus, well, what is the square root really? So this is really y to the 1/2. So if I rewrite this, it's 1/2 times log base b of y. Okay, so finally, we have this one on the bottom, which involves multiple parts here. We have a quotient, we have a product, and we have a power. You need to do the quotient first, and then powers, product and powers. Okay. All right, so this is log base 6 of the third root of x minus log base 6, and on the bottom we have 36y to the fourth. Ah, that's sloppy. Let's rewrite that. Okay, so we did quotient first, product, and then power last, follow the order of operations. Okay, so we have log base 6, but that is really x to the what power? Think about it. It's cube root, right? Make a better cube than that, so that must be the 1/3 power minus bracket log base 6 of 36 plus log base 6 of y to the fourth. Okay, so keep in mind that you need those brackets because that minus goes to the whole thing, the 36 and the y squared. Okay, now we go to the next step and apply the powers. So this is 1/2 log base 6 of x. Distribute the minus. Let's think here. 36 is really 6 squared, right? So we really have log base 6 of 6 squared minus log, oops, I'm sorry, we forgot the 4. We're going to bring the 4 down on that one. So we bring the 4 down. We have log base 6 of y. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is cancel here. So we get our final answer of 1/2 log base 6 of x. Okay, minus 2 minus, I forgot the 4 again, 4 times the log base 6 of y. Okay, pause the video, try the student problems. Okay, student problems. We have product rule, log base 10, because it's common, of 1,000 plus log base x. So this is really log base 10, because it's common log, since nothing's specified. 10 to the third plus log base x, which is base 10. I'm not going to write it, though. So those cancel. Leave me with 3 plus log of x. Okay, so whenever you have a cancel of a log, do so if you can. Next one is a quotient rule. So you have log base 8 of 64 minus log base 8 of x. But 64 is 8 squared. So those will cancel, leaving me with 2 minus the log base 8 of x. A little sloppy, but we got it in there. Let's fix that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, next one. We have a 5 in there to take care of first. That's going to go out front using the power rule. So log base 6 of 4x. So this is now a product in the inside with the product rule. So we have 5 log base 6 of 4 plus log base 6 of x, which is incorrect. Because remember, that 5, whenever you have something on the outside, applies to the 4 and the x. So you need parentheses or brackets. And then you can distribute that 5 to both of them. So you get 5 times the log base 6 of 4 plus 5 times the log base 6 of x. Okay. So next one, we have a product rule in there. So we have log base b of x to the 4th plus log base b of the third root of y, which is really y to the 1/3. So now we can apply the power rules, bring those powers down. 4 times the log of base b to the x, or of x, I should say, that's incorrect, plus 1/3 times log base b of y. Okay, so the next one involves all 3 rules, and again, you must follow the correct order, which is quotient, product, then power. So quotient rule, log base 5 of the square root of x, which is really x to the 1/2, minus log base 5, and we have 25y cubed. Okay, so now we'll do the product rule. So we have log base 5 of x to the 1/2 minus, and remember it goes to both of them, log base 5 of 25 plus log base 5 of y to the 3rd. Okay, so remember 25 is 5 squared. Now we'll apply the power rule. So we have 1/2 times log base 5 of x minus log base 5 of 5 squared. Distribute the minus, minus 2 times log base 5 of y. So final answer after we simplify here. Let's make a better 5 on that. Is 1/2 log base 5 of x. And that'll cancel, leaving us with a 2. minus 2 log base 5 of y. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a 2, that's a 3. Y to the third power. Why did I say that? So we're going to go back because there was a third there. So where did we lose the 3? We lost the 3 there. And there. So that's a 3 multiply, parentheses. That's a 3 there. So there's our final answer. Okay, next page. Okay, now we want to put them together. So it's the plus of the two logs of the same base. Therefore, that can be a product. So that's log base 4 of 2 times 32, which is log base 4 of 64. But 64 is a product of 4 or base of 4. That's 4 to the third power, which will cancel, leaving you with a 3. Always check to see if you can match the base with the number that's there, if it's not algebraic. Okay, so you have a subtraction here. So it's a quotient rule. Since it's both log base 10, that can happen. So 4x minus 3 over x. Remember, these don't have the same base. The properties don't apply. Okay, next problem. We have a couple things going on here. You need to first apply the power rule first. So log of x to the 1/2. Oop, I wrote 1/3 for some reason. Plus log of x minus 1 to the 4th. Okay. All right, so now we can use the product rule. So we have log x to the 1/2, which is really a square root, right? Times x minus 1 to the 4th. And you can put brackets around that if you want. You can write that a little bit better. And now we have 1 log, which is the idea. Okay. Okay, so next one, we have a quotient. So that needs to come first. Actually, no, we got to do the power. So we got to do the power first. So that's the natural log of x plus 7 to the third minus the natural log of x. And then we can do the quotient. So we have the natural log of x plus 7 to the third over, on the bottom, we have x. And put a brackets on that. Now we have 1 log, which is the goal. Okay, move it up to the next one a little bit. Okay, so this one involves all the different properties. Okay, so remember the order matters on this, and it's reverse of what we did in the previous page. Okay, so you have the power rule, right? Then you have the product, and then you have the quotient. Okay, so we'll do the powers first. We'll bring the 4 up, so that's log base b of x to the 4th minus log base b of 6 squared minus log base b of y to the 1/2. So I'm going to take out the subtraction by factoring it out. So I have log base b of x to the 4th minus log base b of 36, because 6 squared is 36, plus log base b of the square root of y, because that is what y to the 1/2 power is. So why did I take out the subtraction by factoring out? Otherwise, you'd have 2 quotient rules of 2 subtractions. You'd have a fraction on top of a fraction, which we don't have. So when you see that, just divide it out. So now I can do the product rule and get log base b of x to the 4th minus log base b of 36 times the square root of y. Because that an addition down there of 2 different logs of the same base. Okay, so I did the power first. I did a little simplification with the taking out the negative by factoring out. So I did the product rule. Now I can do the quotient. So I can get log base b, the numerator is x plus x to the fourth, and the denominator is 36 times the square root of y. Put parentheses around that, and that is our final log. All right, pause the video, try the student problem. Okay, first one, addition, so it's a product rule. They have both the same base, so this will work. 25 times 4 equals log of 100, but this is common log since there's no base specified. So this is really log base 10 of 10 squared, which cancels, leaving you with a 2. All right, next one is subtraction, which is a quotient rule. So it's log of 7x plus 6 over x. Pretty straightforward. So the next one has a couple different rules going on here. We need to do the power rule first. So you have the natural log of x squared plus the natural log of x plus 5 to the 1/3. So now we can do the addition, which is the product rule. And we have the natural log of x squared times the 1/3 power is really the third root of x plus 5. And make sure to put the whole thing in parentheses because the whole thing is being logged. So we get our goal, which is 1 log or a singular log. Okay, next one has a couple different things. There's a quotient and a power. Need to do the power first. So this is log of x minus 3 to the second power minus log of x. Now we can do the quotient property. So we have log, which is common log base 10. We don't need to write it here though. X minus 3 to the second power over x. And we'll put it in brackets since we already have parentheses, and that is our singular log answer. Okay. All right, let's move it up a little bit so we can do the last one. All right, some of the 3 different properties. We need to do them in the correct order. So power, product, then quotient. So doing the powers first, this is log base z. So this is 3 log base z of x to the third minus 4. I'm going to factor out the negative right off the bat. Log base, why did I factor out? I'm sorry, the negative is going to factor out first. I'm sorry, going ahead of myself here. Factor out the negative, I get log base z of 2 to the fourth plus log base z of y to the 1/3. All right, now we have all the powers up there. Okay, so we really have log base z of x to the third minus log base z, let's see, 2 to the fourth would be 16. And this is a plus, so this is going to be the product rule, which is step 2, right? Because again, you have the power we want to do first, then the product, and the quotient, right? Okay, so bring those together. So it's times the third root of y, because remember 1/3 power is the third root. Okay, so last is the quotient rule. So we have log base z of x to the third over 16 third roots of y. We'll put that in parentheses because the whole thing is being logged, and we have a singular log answer. So that is the end of part 1.